You hear it before you see it. The hum at Madison Square Garden that tells you the league is about to reset. One night, two franchises chasing the same throne, and the first punch lands here. New York changed the voice. Cleveland doubled down on the system. Both believe they're built for June, not just October. But there's a reason everyone keeps circling this matchup on the calendar twice. Now and on Christmas, the Knicks didn't chase fireworks. They changed philosophy. Mike Brown walks into the biggest spotlight in basketball with a reputation that splits the room. Modern, adaptable, respected. And, if you believe the critics this week, maybe too nice for New York's noise. That debate went viral the second Matt Barnes lit the match. It doesn't really matter whether you agree. What matters is what the roster now hears every day. Clearer reads, cleaner spacing, and a defense that mixes coverages instead of camping in one idea when games get loud. New York didn't rip up the foundation, it reinforced it. More pace when it's there, more patience when it isn't. More responsibility for role players. Less give it to the star and pray. And if you were tired of the same rotations and the same late-game calls, you weren't alone. The Cavs didn't reinvent, they refined. Kenny Atkinson's blueprint is simple to describe and brutal to guard. Whoever grabs it pushes it, shooters lift early, screeners slip into space, and the clock becomes your enemy. He won Coach of the Year doing exactly that, turning depth into a weapon rather than a fallback. The front office added the detail that always separates good from great, a stabilizer. Lonzo Ball, not a headline chaser, a possession solver. He arrived for Isaac Okoro and immediately gave Cleveland two things they needed: point of attack defense and a second table setter who doesn't need touches to matter. Expect minutes management, but the fit is obvious the moment the ball moves. You can draw the matchup with three markers: Brunson, Donovan, and everyone else who decides the minutes when those two breathe. Jaylen Brunson plays in layers, pace, head fakes, pivot foot poetry. Donovan Mitchell plays on tilt, bursts, body blows, step backs that erase crowd noise. If you only watch the star possessions, you'll think the night comes down to a single shot. It won't. It'll come down to the gaps. Last year, those gaps hurt Cleveland. The stretches without Donovan felt like a climbing wall without a foothold. This year, the Cavs are betting on Evan Mobley's reads and Lonzo's tempo to turn those gaps into sprints. The wrinkle you can't ignore: availability. Cleveland opens the gate without Max Strus, foot surgery, and managing Darius Garland back from toe surgery. Expect different combinations, more switching, more early threes from the wings you weren't scouting 2 months ago. That's the funny part about depth. Nobody talks about it until they need it, and then it looks like genius. For New York, eyes drift to Mitchell Robinson and Josh Hart ramp levels. If both are right, the Knicks own the glass and throttle transition. If one is limited, second chance math tilts toward Cleveland for a quarter you won't forget. So how does it actually play? New York wants to grind your legs with organized drives, deep seals, and paint touches that force your help to reveal itself. Cleveland wants to race your lungs, miss or make, get it out. Early hit, ghost screen, corner shake, quick math. The three swing levers are simple. Rebounding, if New York controls, the Cavs' pace stalls. Turnovers, live ball giveaways are Cleveland's favorite fast break. Bench creation, who wins the non-star minutes. If you're watching at home, you'll feel the shift the moment a second unit guard hits back-to-back jumpers. That's usually when strategy becomes scoreboard. There's also the subplot nobody can stop talking about. Tom Thibodeau in Boston's practice room. Yes, that actually happened. Yes, people in New York noticed. The man who dragged the Knicks into a higher standard walked into a rival's gym and gave a masterclass on beating them 2 days before opening night. It's classic Thibs, obsessed, relentless, controversially helpful. It also puts wattage on Mike Brown's debut. The message board warriors won't admit it, but they're watching his first ATO call like it's a referendum. So what does it add up to tonight? If New York's bigs are active, if the closeouts arrive on the pass, not the catch, if Brunson forces switches and keeps the ball hostage, the Knicks will drag this one into the mud and win it their way. If Cleveland wins the first 5 seconds of possessions, defensive rebound to hit ahead to paint touch, and if Mobley punishes switches with one red, not three, The Cavs will turn this into a sprint and dare the Garden to keep up. Projection. Brunson, 27.76, efficient at the line. Donovan, 31-5-5, a third-quarter run that flips momentum. Mobley, 18-11-5 with two back-breaking short-roll dimes. Lonzo, 8-7-6 in approximately 22 minutes, positive in the bench minutes. Knicks' wings, combined 7 threes, the number that decides the math. Final score lean, Cavs 110, Knicks 106 if the pace pops, Knicks 104, Cavs 99 if the glass tilts orange and blue. The first 5 minutes of the fourth will tell you which script you're in. But here's the real truth. Round 2 will not look like round 1. Christmas carries different pressure. By then, Strus should be closer. Garland's rhythm should be cleaner. New York's playbook will be second nature, rather than notes on a clipboard. If tonight is about identity, Christmas will be about answers. The East doesn't usually declare itself in October, but it does reveal who's serious. New York is serious because it changed without panicking. Cleveland is serious because it built a roster that can survive a week of bad news and still swing. One of them leaves the Garden with a receipt, the other leaves with a reminder. New York versus Cleveland, a rivalry that's been brewing since that playoff clash 2 seasons ago. And now it's back on the big stage. Both teams walk into this matchup with something to prove. For the Knicks, it's redemption through reinvention. No Tom Thibodeau, no grinded-out half-court offense. Mike Brown's era is about pace, spacing, and letting his guards breathe. Jaylen Brunson has that laser focus, trimmed down, sharper off the dribble, ready to test every defensive switch the Cavs throw at him. And don't sleep on Mikal Bridges. He's the quiet assassin, the kind of player who doesn't say much but kills you with efficiency. If he catches fire from mid-range, it could open the floor for Karl-Anthony Towns to feast inside out, pulling Mobley and Allen away from the rim. But the Cavs, they've got ghosts to bury too. Last postseason, they got outworked, out-hustled, and out-rebounded. Now they've added Lonzo Ball, a true connector, a floor general who lives to make everyone better. His defense, still elite. His IQ, underrated. If he can stay healthy and dictate tempo, Cleveland might finally balance its offense with defensive bite. And then there's Donovan Mitchell. Every time he steps into Madison Square Garden, you can see it in his eyes. The energy hits different. He knows the crowd, he knows the whispers, and he knows every time he faces New York, it's personal. He's not just playing the Knicks. He's playing the what if I had been traded here storyline that never really left him. Here's the truth. This game isn't about X's and O's. It's about mentality. Who wants it more when the shots stop falling and fatigue sets in? Who dives for the 50-50 balls? Who makes that late rotation? That's what will decide it tonight. Prediction? The Knicks, with their new look and home court energy, come out swinging early. Brunson drops 28, Cat adds 22 and 10, and Jordan Clarkson chips in a fiery 15 off the bench. But the Cavs claw back late behind Donovan Mitchell's 30-piece and Mobley's 16 boards. Final score? Knicks 109, Cavs 104. Tight game, statement win, and a reminder to the league. The East isn't just Milwaukee or Boston. It runs through Madison Square Garden, too. Either way, you'll be back for the rematch. You always come back for games that feel like they mean more than a number in the standings. And under the Garden lights, the message was clear. The East isn't promised to anyone, but now it's your turn. Who do you believe in? New York or Cleveland? Drop your final score and MVP in the comments. I'll feature the best prediction when we return on Christmas Day. If this story pulled you in, hit subscribe, like, and turn on the bell. Because every game has a story, and we're telling them all season long. This is Above the Rim TV, where basketball becomes cinema. I'll see you at tip-off for the next chapter.